Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to round 2 of the Pro Street Stock Series, sponsored by East Action Sports. Today, we're at the Virtual Motor Speedway, where we're going to go 250 laps, no fast repairs, 3 sets of tires, with live race control and broadcast. And as you can hear Joseph Penn in the background, give the racers a quick update.
If I don't see you before then.
And let's get ready to start this party. We're going to switch screens ever so quickly. And there we go. Let's take a look at tonight's grid as we get them all lined up. Chase Johnson starts on pole in the number 19 machine. Jacob Feskin in the 926 starting second. Cole Patrick, the number 22 machine, starting third. Travis Sukup starts fourth in the 45. Jason Gardner in the number 99 machine starting fifth. Tyler the Weapon Evans in the number 77 starts sixth. Sean Friley in the 06 machine starts seventh. Spencer Breslin in the 355 starting eighth. You've got Josh Sommers in the number 16 starting ninth. And then Jeff Edgar, the last week winner with quite the interesting fuel strategy. He'll be starting 10th in the 007 machine. Let's see what our drivers can do. 250 laps. Now last week Edgar won the season opener at Chicagoland on one of the wildest fuel strategies we've seen so far this season. He was actually able to get pushed by his teammate Chase Johnson to the checkered and still with about a 15-second advantage, so quite the wild gap. Let's see what happens here today as we get the field out rolling along. Over $450 up for grabs for this championship. And let's see if Chase Johnson, number 19 machine, will be able to fend off Feskin in the 926 with Cornerstone Motorsports as they follow the iRacing pace car around the high banks of Bristol. I've got to say I'm looking forward to this Christmas season as well, as this weekend I will be up in the Bristol area. From my understanding, they have the entire track decorated in Christmas lights, so I will be taking a few slow laps around Bristol this weekend to check out what the scenery holds. Pace car will be coming in this time by. We do have the pull up for our viewers at home. Will Jeff Edgar in the 007 make it 2 in a row? Right now, 25% of the viewers are rooting for the old man. 75% saying it's time for a new winner in this second round of the Pro Series. Pace car will be in this time by. And here we go. The initial start for the Pro Series is on green. Subsequent restarts are on the leader. And there we go. The green flag flies. The lights come on. And let's get it started. It's going to be Johnson and Feskin side by side in the front row. Patrick and Sukup side by side in the second row. As look at that, Jason Gardner, the fill-in driver for the 99 dropping bombs machine. He's beside teammate Travis Sukup in the 45, while Tyler the Weapon Evans watches in 6th. Now, from my understanding, talking to the drivers in their haulers coming into tonight's main event, this is definitely going to be a fuel and tire management type of race. With the smaller grid right at holiday season, it's going to be a game of maybe more so long runs here at Bristol and less about hanging it all out right off the rip, as Chase Johnson has a comfortable lead about 2/10 ahead of Feskinen. But it was Cole Patrick in the number 22 machine sets the fastest lap early on, but he gets unsettled by Travis Sukup running fourth, who clicks off a 16.39. As we pan the camera over to Sukup, he's trying to chase down his teammate Patrick in the number 22 machine. As right now it's Fastlane leading the charge out front. Cornerstone runs second. And then you've got a few of the dropping bombs drivers running third, fourth, fifth. And I believe that is going to be it from those guys. So good to see the teams that did come out on a holiday week get ready to race hard, as Feskinen starting to put the pressure on your race leader Chase Johnson early on, looking to the inside line, going into one, backs out of it, as it looked like Johnson got a little bit squirrely there. Now this is a longer race, 250 laps, but they will be clicked off relatively quickly as the drivers are averaging about 16-second lap times. While the tires are still good, but these street stock machines don't have a ton of mechanical grip, so they're going to be eating up those tires if they did not get the cars just ever so perfectly dialed in this open setup series. And here we go, Feskin in charge for the lead, sliding up the inside line of Johnson. Now Johnson's going to feel the pressure from Patrick and Sukup as well. As Feskin extends that gap to about a half second over Johnson. Johnson was about 4/10 slower than Feskin in that last time by. As Feskin clicks off the fastest lap of the race at 16.35, leading the field around 11 laps into this main event. As it stands after the initial round, is Jeff Edgar as your points leader. He's about 5 points ahead of Steven Rex, and Tyler McRae is 7 points back. Both Rex and McRae unable to make it here today, having plans to be out of town. And we've got some racing going on for 9th as well. Jeff Edgar, Josh Sommers putting on a show. Edgar in the 007, Sommers in the 16 machine. As we pan the camera back to 2nd through 6th place, all running very tight and bunched up together. You see Jason Gardner trying to find a way around Travis Sukup's number 45 machine to take over 4th. But going to be interesting to see who's willing to take a few little jabs at the competition early on here and who's going to try and keep the tire wear underneath them. Now we do have Joseph Penn, our acting race control, up in the booth here today. Hopefully he has a nice, boring day. And doesn't have to deal with too much drama or tribulation. As look at that, Patrick slides up ahead of Johnson. Johnson with a small bobble, now back to 3rd, down 2 spots. So that'll be Feskinen up 1 spot, Patrick up 1 spot, as well as Jeff Edgar up 1 spot. Other than that, everybody seems to be kind of running around and just seeing what the competition can do here, trying to keep that tire wear underneath them and not push too hard too early. Going to be interesting to see what the expected fuel window is for these drivers. I would wager around lap 50 to 60 is when you're going to see your first green flag stop, as the tire wear will probably be a bigger factor than the fuel management will be in this run. But the downside to that is it takes so painfully long to fuel up these street stock machines, 1 5-gallon container at a time. Gardner still running 5th as the stand-in driver for the 99. He's being chased by Tyler the Weapon Evans in the 77. Evans, one of the most improved drivers we've had the pleasure of calling in any of our broadcasts across multiple series. Has really put in a lot of work during the last 6 months to improve his racecraft. And those guys at Cornerstone Motorsports, they put in a whole lot of time throughout the week to get these setups dialed in. We got Tyler McRae joining us from across the world, cheering on his teammates at Droppin' Bombs Racing as we are focused on that 99 machine today, piloted by Jason Gardner. As it looks like Johnson's trying to return the favor on Patrick once more to nose his way into 3rd place. But 24 laps in, drivers are going to be feeling the tire wear. They're all about 3/10 off their fastest lap times of the day. So it's going to be tough to really make any gutsy passes as these runs progress. And Patrick and Johnson know if they make any slight errors, they've got a fleet of drivers with Sukup, Gardner, Evans right behind them trying to take advantage. As here we go, Patrick and Johnson side by side across the start-finish line. Patrick had him by about a half car length, but Johnson has the preferred inside line. But let's see what Sukup tries to do as well in that 45 machine. If he's going to let his teammate back in. No, Sukup also going up to the inside line, trying to get a spot early. We're still going to go too wide into one. Chase Johnson has broken away ever so slightly, trying to catch back up to Feskinen, your race leader, who's comfortably ahead of the field here by about 1.5 seconds. And now Patrick will be slotted in 4th on the track as here comes Jason Garner looking at the inside line. Gardner may be a little bit more cautious here, following team orders to just not wreck the team car. And now Evans going to try and slot up next to Gardner, looking at that inside line, the number 77 machine. Evans in the teal and black, Gardner in the orange and white, both right behind Patrick, the number 22 machine, as they go door to door across the start-finish line. 30 laps in, everybody's trying to maintain tire wear, but these guys are out here to race. So Evans moves up 1 spot from where he started in that number 77 machine. Currently looking to get upside Cole Patrick, the number 22 machine. As this run progresses, it's going to be really tough to get that drive off of that inside line. And you will see drivers moving grooves across this track, searching for a little bit more speed and trying to keep that tire temperature down. As Evans and Patrick still side by side coming down the backstretch. Through 3 and 4, looks like Evans will be clear here, able to slide up the track at the start-finish line. And now Gardner's going to try and follow suit right behind Evans to get around Patrick. We've had a lot of swapping back and forth here early on to the run, as right now it's Feskinen, Johnson, Sukup, your top 3. Evans and Gardner round out the top 5. Johnson's found a little bit of speed against Feskinen, now about 1.4 seconds back from your race leader. Gonna be curious to see how much tire wear Feskinen will have at the end of this run, as he's been pushing hard for the duration. That last time by, Feskinen clicked off a 16.7, Johnson with a 16.75. So the tire wear not a major factor yet for these drivers. As we pan the camera back to Feskinen and Johnson, looks like Johnson's found some time that last time by, running about 0.15 of a second faster than Feskinen, slowly reeling in the leader in that 9.26 Cornerstone machine. I'm curious to see as well when lap traffic may be a factor. Average lap time still under 17 seconds. Feskinen about 12 seconds ahead of Jeff Edgar, who comes down pit road early in the 007. Not sure if Edgar has problems or what the issue may be for that 007. As he is in his pit stall. Maybe he ran with qualifying fuel. It's a tough guess to make here, taking tires early on. So Jeff Edgar will go a lap down to your race leader, Jacob Feskinen. The 9.26 machine still running about a second ahead of Johnson, but Johnson's charging hard, consistently running about a 10th faster per lap at the later part of this run. As that Feskinen may be using up too much tires early on. But also keep an eye on Jeff Edgar in that 007. We've seen some wild fuel strategy around one where he was able to win just on strategy at Chicago. Going to be curious to see if the wily veteran has something up his sleeve and maybe some sort of strategy. Sukup, Evans, Gardner still riding around in a pack, and it looks like Breslin, Friley, and oh, we've got some action going on here. Jason Gardner up to 5th, Friley up 1 spot to 6th, Breslin up to 7th. Patrick having problems here, that number 22 machine. He's down 5 spots so far here today. And right behind him, Jeff Edgar, the 007, who's going to be several laps down after a very early pit stop. Going to be curious to see the strategy. Maybe Edgar's betting on these long green flag runs, which is kind of the norm here in the Pro Series. But he'll be coming out with fresh tires and in theory should be blitzing through the field here. Up front, looks like Sukup and friends. Sukup, Evans, Garner have really caught up to Chase Johnson running in 2nd. Johnson now 2.5 seconds back from your race leader Feskinen. And losing time, hand over fist here. Ooh, Feskinen has a massive blink. Your race leader might have connectivity issues as well. And the battle for 2nd is about to get all sorts of heated as here comes Sukup, Evans, Gardner. Ooh, Johnson has problems. The number 19 machine tags the outside wall. Keeps it off the other drivers, but I think that is the issue of tire wear. And oh no, Chase Johnson has big problems in the number 19 machine. Holds it against the wall to allow the rest of the field through. But man, Johnson's got big problems in that number 19 machine as he limps it down pit road. Looks like Patrick, the number 22 machine, is also going to come down pit road. Meanwhile, Evans and Sukup battling for the 2nd place spot. Evans hits him with the slide job, cutting out just ahead of Sukup. And here comes Gardner, the fill-in driver for the 99 machine. All of a sudden, he is in podium contention after some weird things are happening out here at Bristol. You saw Jeff Edgar with the early pit stop. Chase Johnson has some sort of mechanical. Looks like Evans got a little bit of damage on the front of that number 77 machine as well as he's getting chased by Sukup. Going to be interesting to see if Johnson and Patrick, they do show back out on track. So far, no cautions here as of yet, but we got very close with Johnson drilling that outside wall. And we are watching the battle for 2nd between Tyler the Weapon Evans and the number 77 machine. He's up 4 spots. Sukup running 3rd's up 1 spot. And Gardner in the 99 also up 1 spot. I would imagine if Evans has a 0X, he is in contention for our Tri-E Cool Under Pressure award. If you're just tuning in, that is a extra bonus given out courtesy of the Tri-E Cooler crew coming on as a sponsor this season, to award the driver that gets through the field with 0Xs that gains the most positions over the course of this race. That's going to be a tough one to do here at Bristol. As look at that, Gardner slides up along Sukup for 3rd place. But Sukup's going to answer immediately in the 45. Garner on the preferred line on the inside line in the orange and white 99. Sukup in the black and white number 45 DBR painted scheme. 2 teammates trying to figure out how to catch up to the teammates running up front of Cornerstone Motorsports. That's Feskinen and Evans running 1st and 2nd. You got Dropping Bombs running 3rd and 4th. With Fastlane Motorsports, currently their highest car is running 5th out on track. And then you've also got Breslin, the lone driver for East Action Sports. He's running 6th on track in the 355, up 2 spots so far today. And we got confirmation Patrick, the number 22 machine, has retired and went back to the hauler. We've seen a little bit of damage, a little bit of problems, but No green flag stops yet to speak of. The drivers are going to hang it out. The lap time's really not that bad, about a half second or less off their fastest laps of the race. So it seems like all the drivers doing a pretty fantastic job maintaining their tires over the run here. As Evans has Gardner right on his back bumper, but we're going to check out the race leader, Jacob Feskin, who's about to be cutting through traffic here today. I believe that may be Sommers just ahead. Yes, it is, the number 16 machine. Just ahead of your race leader, Jacob Feskin, and Feskin looks to the inside line. Sommers holds his line to avoid getting into the race leader. As we check out, Evans and Gardner still going at it back here for that second place spot. They will have to cut through traffic here together as Josh Sommers just ahead of them in the number 16 machine. Sommers still holding on to 7th after going a lap down to Feskinen. Sommers, tags the outside wall, trying to get out of the way in the battle for second. Narrowly avoids bouncing back into Gardner. That number 99 machine thankfully holds on to it. Now last week at Chicagoland, we went 150 miles with no cautions. Maybe the drivers will be able to do that again here today. Now, over the course of this run as well, Evans and Gardner working together have caught up slightly to Feskinen. That gap was as low as 1 second, but I think Gardner's going to make a shot at it here up the inside line. Yes, he does. Evans and Gardner side by side once more. Gardner on the inside line. Evans up on the high side. Carrying just a little bit more momentum at the start-finish line straight. But this is allowing Feskinen to stretch his legs, extend that gap to over 2 seconds. As the battle for second are putting on a show here today. Evans and Gardner still can't get away from each other. Evans able to carry just a little bit more speed on that high line, but Gardner yielding or not yielding that inside line at all, staying hugging that apron. But that's also going to burn up the tires slightly of Jason Gardner as well on that 99 machine. Now, I don't think there's any team strategy here. I was going to say maybe, Evans trying to slow down the other drivers to give Feskinen a better shot, and he has extended his gap over Gardner. Jacob Feskinen now up to 2.6 seconds. And let's see what Gardner can do in the 99 machine. So now he's going to be running around second. Evans will settle for third for the time being. 73 laps in on this green flag run. As Gardner ever so slightly extending that gap over Evans here. Now right at a half second between those two drivers. Gardner, before the race, said he was very comfortable on his setup. The tires were wearing very evenly over his test sessions. As we're about 1/3 of the way through of this main event, Gardner was about 0.15 faster than Evans that last time by, and more importantly, he seems to be catching up to Feskinen 2 to 3 tenths per lap here late in the run. Gardner may have a long run car showing up in force here today, as he is very slowly gaining on your race leader Feskinen in the 926 machine. But plans will change as Jason Gardner comes down pit road, one of the first drivers for a green flag stop. Josh Sommers, the number 16 machine, also coming down pit road. But this is where things are going to get interesting. Remember that Jeff Edgar in the 007, last week's winner for the season opener, he came in very early on lap 38 to try and get on a different pit strategy as you're on board your race leader, Jacob Feskin, in the 926 machine. You can hear him. Ooh, look at the damage to the front right of that 926. He's maybe got a little bit close to comfort for that outside wall over the duration of the run here at Bristol. So as it stands, you've got Garner and Sommers in hot pit. Chase Johnson may be retired from the event as he's been in his stall for 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Edgar, we just talked about him in the 007. He slots back into 6th after passing people in their pit cycle, as he lost about 3 laps while he was in that pit stall while the rest of the racers made their way about. Very intrigued to see how this pit cycle is going to really shake things up for these drivers, especially later on in the run. As you're on board your race leader, Jacob Feskin, you hear that suspension working overtime as something bottomed out there through the banking. He's extended his gap to over 3 seconds ahead of Evans, but now Feskin will come down pit road in that 926 machine. Let's see if Evans follows or tries to get a lap led here at Bristol. Travis Sukup and Spencer Breslin also boxing this lap. It looks like Evans and Friley going to stretch it out here just a little while longer. Almost 86 laps on a set of tires. And now Evans going to come down pit road. And Friley will get a lap led here at Bristol. Friley being chased by Jason Gardner, who is several laps down as well. So now let's see how long Friley opts to stretch it out for. Now, we've made it 80 some odd laps in under green. If we're going to see a caution, it would be about this time, as now you've got drivers out on track with differing tires and different fuel strategies, really pushing hard and talking about it. Again, Jeff Edgar's worked his way back up to 3rd in the 007. Up 7 spots. Tyler the Weapon Evans, he's in his pit stall. John Friley's going to come down pit road. And I believe you're going to see Jeff Edgar take over the race lead here in the 007 after his very early pit stop on lap 38. So Jeff gonna make it a 2-stop race, barring any cautions. His next scheduled rough pit stop is gonna be around that lap 120 to 125 will be his fuel window. And from there, he'll be able to stretch it out to the very end. So that's gonna be a very interesting call. He's getting off cycle with the rest of the field early on. The rest of the field will have to come in around anywhere between lap 160 to 170 is the next round of pit stops for these guys. Because right now, the wily veteran, the Tri-E cooler-backed Fastlane Motorsports is up 9 spots. But right behind him, Feskin in the 926 machine coming out on fresh tires after his lap 85 pit stop. Clicks off the fastest lap of the race with a 16.31. Looks like everybody's back out on track, including Chase Johnson, the number 19 machine. He will join many, many laps down from the rest of the pack, but wants to get out there and try and score some points for the team, as we do have both the individual championship as well as the team championship at play. And again, over $450 of purse money will be handed out following the conclusion of Season 2. Edgar out front enjoying the spotlight. 40% of our viewers saying he can make it 2 in a row. 60% saying it's going to be fresh blood in Season 2, bringing home the top spot. Now, with how this pit strategy panned out, though, it's only Edgar and Feskinen on the lead lap. Gardner in the number 99 machine, you see him just behind your race leader. He's going to try and get a lap back here on much fresher tires than Edgar is. But I don't think Edgar took full fuel either. He was in his pit stall for only 26 seconds. The rest of the field, barring Spencer Breslin, were in between 50 seconds to a minute in their pit stall. Breslin was only in his stall for 16 seconds is what it says. And it says Breslin has boxed twice, so I'm not sure if the driver of the 355 machine may have had some sort of problem and had to come back in. Maybe missed an adjustment, not quite sure there. We'll have to try and get a pit lane reporter out. Maybe see what happened. As Jason Gardner slides up the inside line of your race leader, Jeff Edgar, to get himself back on the lead lap on that number 99 Dropping Bombs racing machine. We've got Grace Neri, a.k.a. Andrew Neri, tune in from Canada land. Good to see that fine family enjoying their Christmas holiday together, rocking their new Goon Squad apparel. Much love to the Neri family. Always appreciate their support on and off the track. Feskin in the 926 machine. He's catching up to Tyler the Weapon Evans to put him down another lap, at least from the second place car. But I wonder if Evans will have, should be about the same pace as Feskinen. Came in a lap 85. Evans came in a lap 86. I don't think you're going to see anything too wild here, as they are teammates. Evans in the 77, Feskin in the 926. So not expecting to see any big battles here. Maybe Feskinen, maybe even catching a tow, as he's reeled Jeff Edgar in, who was 10 seconds ahead of the second place driver, now to about 3 3/4 of a second. Feskinen looks to the inside line of his teammate Evans, narrowly avoids tagging the wall there. Now we know Feskinen in that black and red Cornerstone Motorsports 926 had quite a large amount of speed in the short run during that opening stint. But will he have the same? Now he is on much fresher tires than your race leader as well, as you can see the gap rapidly closing. But he's going to have a little bit more traffic contend with it. You see Chase Johnson, number 19 machine, just ahead, as well as Josh Sommers in the 16 machine, ahead of that second place driver. As timing shows, Feskin about a half second faster that last time by than your race leader. And Edgar's going to come back down pit road on lap 109 for, once again, a wild strategy here. So Edgar brings it down pit road in the 007 machine, throwing on more tires and getting back out there. So now it'll be Feskin and your race leader Gardner in here in second place. And Tyler the Weapon Evans will now show scored on third. Gardner rolling around by himself in second place. He's about 14 seconds back from your race leader, Jacob Feskin, about 3.6 ahead of Tyler the Weapon Evans. But Evans will find himself involved with a little bit of traffic trying to catch up to that second place spot held by Jason Gardner. And the marbles really building up here at Bristol. If these drivers push to that high line, they can get mighty slick, mighty fast. And let's see if the Weapon can home in on Gardner and get through that 3.5 second gap. He's got lap traffic behind him that may help him out with the draft ever so slightly, but he's got more traffic ahead of him as well. I believe that's actually your race leader, Feskinen, just ahead of Evans. Evans running about the same pace as the race leader at this point in his run. Both Evans and Feskinen came around that lap 85, 86 mark. Gardner running second, came in on lap 78, so just ever so slightly older tires. Jeff Edgar, after his second stop of the night, he will come back out on track 7th in the 007 machine. About 4.6 seconds behind Breslin, who's running 6th in the 355. Want to give a shout out to our friends at ASRC. It runs a rookie oval street stock league on Mondays, or no longer street stocks, I should say. I think now they're doing tour modifieds and the SK mods, but good to see the ASRC guys both on and off the track. They've got Jason Garner and the number 99 machine out here running today. We've got the league owner Johnny Bell tuning in as well, supporting the cause. So great to see some friends from different leagues tuning in, having a good time, trying to support the other good leagues whenever we get the chance. A lot of great guys over there. If you're looking to run on a Monday night, check them out, ASRC. Free to join, free to race, and a whole lot of great action in an open setup, Tour Modified, and SK Modified League. And you can very often find some of the Team Goon Squad pro guys over there running around on a Monday night, having a lot of fun, kind of letting our hair down and just racing. That's what we're here for. Speaking of ASRC, Jason Gardner and the ASRC dropping bombs back. Number 99 machine still running second on track, up 3 spots from where he started, as he's going to do his best to keep his head down and try and stay ahead of Tyler Evans, the number 77 machine. Evans also up 3 spots, running almost identical lap times to Garner. Garner last time by with a 16.87, Evans with a 16.86. So it'll be interesting to see who's maybe carrying the tire wear. We know Feskinen, your race leader, he's been extremely quick on the short run. And Garner made a whole lot of strides on the long run in the opening 78 laps he put down. Chase Johnson, number 19 machine, he comes down pit road. He was involved in a little bit of incident with the wall early on, and was in his pit stall for a very long time, over 9 minutes early on here today. Maybe facing some cooling issues. Here comes Gardner getting ready to cut through traffic once more. Ooh, Garner about to go another lap down to Jacob Feskinen. The race leader is on rails here today. Feskinen almost lapped the entirety of the field. Feskinen looks like he's running consistently about 2/10 faster than Gardner. Oh, but right as we say that, Feskinen makes a pretty hard shot into the wall. Maybe got a little bit loose there. Now it's interesting with these open setups, you'll see some drivers get much looser as the run progresses, so they start overheating that back right tire, while other drivers are really pushing the front right and kind of plowing into the front, the outside wall. Johnny Bell, our good friend, having a little bit of problems with the YouTube chat, giving him fits. Thanking us for the shout out. Glad to support the guys. So now let's see if Feskinen backs off the pace after he had that contact with the wall, not wanting to risk a race here, pushing too hard, as he sees second place just in front of him, so he knows as long as Garner doesn't make his way around the track in record-breaking time, he's looking good to hold on to that lead. Gardner's got Jeff Edgar just ahead of him in the 007. Edgar on a very odd pit strategy here tonight. He's already boxed twice so far. And as we are past the halfway mark, I'd like to thank our friends over at Tri-E Cooler Crew coming on for sponsoring this series and sponsoring the Cool Under Pressure Award for the driver that gains the most positions in a main event with a 0X, as well as our fans and viewers from across the world. We could not do it without you guys. We greatly appreciate both our racers and the spectators that come out week in and week out, and really all of our broadcasts. It makes it a lot more exciting and fun for me to call the action. And we wish you all a happy Christmas and holiday season. I know it's an odd time to have a race with everybody getting ready to go out of town for the Christmas holidays, but couldn't do it without you guys, and truly greatly appreciative of everybody. Feskinen still leading here. Looks like he's slowed down the pace a little bit, running about a tenth of a lap slower than he has been in the past. I don't think he has any too bad of damage on that right rear side after making the contact with the wall, but that may have been a little bit of a wake-up call for the driver of the 926. We got report as well from the 19 crew, Chase Johnson. He has sent it back to the hauler and retired for the evening, as he was running about 30 some odd laps down, opting just to go get ready for next week. Actually, next week we have an off week. Next week on December 30th, we'll be out of town for New Year's and having a bit of a break for drivers and broadcast and race admins alike before we come back January 6th for Richmond Raceway, where we're going to go 200 laps. Maybe see how long we can keep this caution-free spree going at the Pro Series. Because usually every time I say that, calamity immediately follows. Got a little bit of race going on. Jeff Edgar getting a little bit closer to Breslin in the 355 machine in the battle for 6. Edgar still up 3 spots from where he started. Breslin up 2 spots. Now, Edgar's next planned pit stop may be right around that lap 190 to 200 mark before he can make it all to the way to the end. Most of the other drivers we're expecting to see come in around lap 170 if they stay true to their pit cycle. But never discount these pro racers that do something a little bit wild, a little bit out of the ordinary. Again, we saw Edgar get pushed to the win last week at Chicago from a teammate. After running out of gas on the final lap, he built up about a 25-second advantage. It was down to about 10 seconds at the line as that 007 machine came sputtering to take the checkers. And here we go. Breslin in the 355 machine is about to feel the pressure from last week's winner. The 007 of Jeff Edgar is charging back through the field. He's on about 20 lap newer tires here. Josh Somers, the number 16 machine, looked like he almost came down pit road. No, he's got problems. Takes the tow back to pit road, but Somers will be our first crash of the night. Thankfully, no caution, but let's take a look, see what happened to Somers in the number 16 machine. As our replay button does not appear to be wanting to work. Classic. Tyler Evans also comes down pit road. Evans taking 4 fresh Hoosier tires and a full tank of gas. Faskin and Gardner still on the lead lap. Now, interesting call. I don't think Evans, if he fills up all the way here, will be able to make it till the end. As the most we've seen is 89 laps out of a driver. That was John Friley, who had the longest run out here today. To that, I mean, if I'm looking at this right, that's still going to put Evans about 10 laps short to make it to the end of this thing. Veskin out front's really backed off the pace, clicking off consistent 17-second lap times, about 7/10 off his usual pace. That's why Jason Gardner's been able to gain about 3 seconds to 4 seconds over the duration of this run. Jeff Edgar still linked up with Breslin, that 355 machine, cutting through traffic. They've been together for about 10 laps now. Ooh, Breslin may have had a very slight blink there. Can't tell if that was Breslin or Sukup in the number 45 machine. So we've got less than 100 laps remaining here today. Now, is Edgar in that 007 machine going to try and make a move on the 355, or is he happy staying behind the newer driver? Breslin ran the entirety of the pro season, or most of the pro season in season 1. And now Jeff fielding multiple cars full-time here in Season 2, trying to keep up his winning streak. But even though Jeff Edgar in that 007 machine was able to win that season opener, it's still dropping bombs racing on top of the leaderboard as far as points go. Fast Lane, owned by Jeff Edgar, they're only about 4 points behind. Cornerstone Motorsports runs third in the team points, 8 points behind your race leader. And then Vandermeet Shutters, a two-man team. It does not look like they have either car out here tonight. They are running fourth, about 23 behind the team points leader. But Vandermeet Shutters only fielded one of their car last week. That was piloted by Vandermeet. Jason Gardner, the second place driver in the number 99 Dropping Bombs Racing Machine. He comes down pit road on lap 164. So now Friley in the 06 machine will take over second place. Still running 1 lap down from your race leader. Almost 2 laps down as Feskinen is just in the background there behind the 06 machine. No, but Feskinen will come down pit road as well in the 926. So let's see how many laps back Friley gets. So this should be the final green flag stop of the night for most of the drivers, as we have some wildly different pit strategies here today. So Friley should take over the race lead maybe about a lap ahead of Feskinen after Feskinen completes his pit cycle, as we're expecting him to be in that stall for quite a while. Yes, Friley will get at least 1 lap led here in that 06 machine, currently up 6 spots, as he stays out a little bit longer since his pit cycle. He's about 4 laps later than Feskinen on pit strategy earlier on. He came in on lap 89. Feskinen came in on lap 85 or 86. So now we've got the field all shook up. Jeff Edgar, Spencer Breslin are going to move up to, I believe, 3rd and 4th as Feskinen still in pit road. Yes, that is correct. So now it's Friley, Sukup, Breslin, Edgar, and Evans will round out our top 5 as this pit cycle shakes things up just a little bit. 80 laps left to go in round 2. Breslin and Edgar have been linked up for a long time here. Breslin came in a lap 87, Edgar on lap 108. And about 5 seconds back from these guys, you've got Evans, who came in a lap 149, who's clicking off some fast lap times, really using up the tires early on in the run. Breslin trying to get around Gardner, the number 99 machine, who's a lap down. Has to back out of it. That's going to allow Jeff Edgar to slide up the inside along that 355 machine in the battle for 3rd. Travis Sukup at number 45. He comes down pit road on lap 173, the 2nd place driver. So Breslin will inherit 2nd. Jeff Edgar slots up to 3rd. But we're expecting Friley and Breslin to have to come in relatively soon. Edgar should be able to stay out another 20 laps further than these drivers. Breslin looks like he's going to come down pit road in that 355 machine. Edgar opts to stay out, as well as Friley. Friley still your race leader. Run about 37 seconds ahead of the 2nd place driver, Jeff Edgar. Now 2nd. Tyler Evans moves up to 3rd after his lap 149 pit cycle. And Jeff Edgar's also going to come down pit road in that 007. Very interesting. So again, barring any cautions to shake things up, this will be the last pit cycle of the night as Friley comes down pit road in the 06 machine. Evans going to try and get a couple laps back, as he came in lap 149. Jason Gardner still showing 3rd. He came in lap 163. Now Evans should be about 15 laps short on fuel. That'll be interesting. I believe Gardner, Feskinen, Edgar, Sukup all completing their pit cycles, or just about to. They should be able to run to the end. Really, anybody who came in after lap 165, Jason Gardner may be close to that number 99. He came in lap 163. He's going to have just a little bit of room for margins, but not much, as I think 89 laps is the furthest we've seen somebody stretch it. And that was John Friley in the 06 machine, but I don't know how much fuel saving Friley was doing over the duration of that run. But now it is Tyler the Weapon Evans, his turn in the limelight, leading the field around here at Bristol. He's got Jason Gardner about 13.6 seconds back. Gardner on about 13, 14 lap newer tires. And I don't think Evans filled up all the way in his earlier pit stop on lap 149. He was only in his pit stall for just shy of 39 seconds. Usually a full tank in these street stock machines will take you about 45 to 55 seconds, depending on when in your run you decide to come down pit road. Last time by, Evans and Gardner running almost identical lap times. Evans with a 16.84, Gardner with a 16.88. Now this is Gardner's debut here today in the Pro Series, a fill-in driver for the Droppin' Bombs team. Most of these drivers were able to get through Chicago with no incident points. Edgar and Evans both had a 0x. McRae had a 0. Let's see here. I believe that's Sean Powell, Steve Rex, James SoundCloud, Silvers, Michael Vandermeed all finished that race without incident points. So good to see the guys coming out here running clean once more. I think their biggest challenge so far tonight is the track and the tire wear. And knowing when to push it. Now keep a close eye on Jason Gardner, that number 99 machine, as he is, I believe, a lap ahead of Feskinen in the 926 machine. Feskinen about 14.5 seconds back. As we know, Gardner and Feskinen can make it to the end on fuel. We don't think Tyler Evans, your race leader in the 77 machine, can make it on fuel. If so, it's going to be dangerously close to make it till the end. He's gambling big and maybe doing some very heavy fuel saving, but his lap times don't show fuel saving. As that last time by, Evans clicked off another 16.93, Gardner with a 16.85. Garner still hanging out about 14 seconds behind your race leader, and he's got about a 14-second gap back to Feskinen. As yes, that is your race leader. He's got second place in sight, trying to put Gardner a lap down. But gotta be careful not to use up too much tires, or especially fuel in the case of Evans, as he's trying to make it to the end of this thing. On pit strategy to bring him home the win. He's currently up 5 spots. Gardner's up 3 spots. Feskinen gaining a little bit of ground on Jason Gardner as well. Now down to about 13.1 seconds between the second place driver, Jason Gardner, and Feskinen in the 926 machine. Gardner came down pit road on lap 163, Feskinen on 167. So in theory, both drivers should be able to stretch it out to the end here. But Feskinen was in that pit stall for a very long time, a minute and 28 seconds. Wondering if he had some sort of problems on pit road, maybe a speeding penalty or unsafe pit entry that caused him to sit in that stall for an extended amount of time. And Feskinen gaining some ground here. He was about 4/10 faster than Gardner that time by, but he's only got about 50 laps left to try and make something happen, to try and reel Gardner in. It would take him about 20 laps to catch up to Gardner in the 99 machine if the pace stays the exact same as it was that last time by for these two drivers. Somebody had a massive blink, not quite sure who that was. That was maybe Sukup in the 45? Last time by, Feskinen only 2/10 faster than Gardner. Gardner about a 10th faster than Evans was that last time by. Curious to see if maybe Evans is going into prime time fuel saving mode to try and stretch it out for 49 laps. He's got to be talking to his crew chief and spotter saying it's going to look dangerously close if we try and make this thing green all the way to the end. Sommers comes back out of pit road, that number 16 machine, 8th on track. Still up one spot from where he started today, but way down the lap running order. But he's going to come out and still try and manage some points for the team, because that's what they're all here for, is to try and get that end of season paycheck. As now Feskinen will have lap traffic to contend with. That is Sukup in the number 45 machine. Sukup running 6th on track, down 2 spots from where he started, but still keeping his head down and charging forward. Sukup came in on lap 171, so he is more than good to make it till the end here. But Feskinen, he knows he's catch up to Gardner, now down to 11 seconds between the 2nd and 3rd place drivers. Feskinen still running about 2/10 faster than Gardner was that last time by. Feskinen going to have to find just a little bit more speed if he wants to catch up to Gardner. He's going to show about 10 laps short at this current pace to catch up to the 2nd place driver. It's going to be extremely interesting to see if Tyler the Weapon Evans running out front can maintain and hold on to it with fuel mileage. Because again, he came to lap 149. The rest of the field came in after lap 160. And Evans going to find himself tied up with traffic here. Sukup yields the inside line, trying to allow that 926 machine around. Feskinen does so, but did he lose any time here to Gardner? Gardner still running about 14.8 seconds back from Evans, who may or may not have the fuel he needs. As we check in on Jason Gardner running 2nd in that number 99 machine, he's still got just under 10 seconds ahead of Feskinen. Only 4 laps different on their last pit strategy. Gardner came in lap 163, Feskinen on 167. So the tire wear should be about the same for these two drivers. It's going to be all about management on those tires, fuel to get to the end, as well as navigating lap traffic, as there's not a lot of tire left to play with at this point in the run. Most of the drivers about a half second off their fastest lap of the race, as the track is thoroughly rubbered up and the tire wear really coming in, running almost 50 laps since their last pit stop. Tyler Evans still out front. He's got Jeff Edgar a couple laps down, a few laps down, I should say, following the race leader around. Evans running first. Edgar still running fifth, up 5 spots from where he started. Jeff, again, on some very interesting fuel strategy, pit stop strategy here today. He's had 3 stops so far here tonight, while majority of the field without crashes counting are only on a 2-stop strategy so far. But hey, that's why 33% of our viewers said the old man can make it 2 in a row. It's going to be tough, though. I don't think Gardner, Feskinen, Friley, all 3 drivers ahead of Jeff Edgar are going to be having to come down pit road for fuel. The only questionable is your race leader, Tyler Evans, in that number 77 machine. Again, I'm predicting he's going to be about 10 to 15 laps short. Even if he massively fuel saved, that would allow Garner to quickly whittle away at that 13.5-second differential between himself and race leader Evans. That is a lot of laps to try and save. Evans clicked off a 17.08 that last time by. Let's see what Gardner's updates to. A 16.86 out of your second place driver. So Gardner not quite 2/10 faster that last time by. As I think Edgar is getting a little bit impatient here, trying to squeeze around Evans, the number 77 machine, to get a lap back from your race leader. 26 laps left to go. Garner's closed the gap in second, now down to 13 seconds. While Feskinen in third, he's within about 9 seconds of the second place runner. But no, Evans going to hold on to that spot from Jeff Edgar. Edgar just trying to get some laps back late in the race. 25 to go for the field. Gardner and Feskinen clicking off almost identical lap times their last time by. Gardner with a 16.85, Feskinen with a 16.88. And your race leader, Evans, is going to come down pit road to splash off fuel to make it till the end. Just like that, Jason Garner is going to be in contention to bring home the win at the Pro Series in his debut here. Garner will make the pass as Evans is on pit road, still 9 seconds ahead of Jacob Feskinen. He's got fire in his eyes as Garner is going to charge hard here in the closing laps. Feskinen moves up to second. Nine seconds separating Jason Gardner from Jacob Feskinen. Both drivers should be well and good to make it on fuel here today. Evans gets out of pit road after 24 seconds in his box. He'll rejoin the track fourth in that number 77 machine. Still up 2 spots from where he started here tonight. But all eyes are on Jason Gardner in that dropping bombs ASRC number 99 machine. Last time by, Feskinen was just under a 10th second faster. With 20 laps left to go, unless Gardner really drops off the pace or Feskinen finds some heat in that 926 machine, Gardner could pick up the win in his debut here. We said it earlier, pit stops are going to really make or break the drivers. As right now your top three, Gardner, Feskin, and Friley, all should be good to go on fuel. Garner came in on 163, Feskin in on 167, and Friley on 177. Friley still one lap down from your race leaders. All eyes, though, on Gardner as he's still about 8.4 seconds ahead of Feskinen in the 926 machine. Oh, this is going to be exciting. Now, Gardner's going to be close on fuel. We've seen the longest anybody stretched it out here was 89 laps. That was very early on by John Friley. Most of these drivers came in around the lap 85 mark. That would actually put Gardner 2 laps short, but I'd imagine he's going to do a little bit to try and fuel save, squeeze out 2 more laps as it's 14 to go as he crosses the line, still 8 seconds ahead of Feskinen. Feskinen was only about 0.05 of a second his last lap by, faster than your race leader. Oh, I am watching with bated breath. Feskinen's trying to find every ounce of time he can, or maybe just hoping Gardner, that number 99, your race leader, runs out of gas late in the run here. But I think Gardner's looking really good here as it's 12 to go as it stands. Barring any hiccups or just acts of God and misfortune, Gardner's looking really, really good here in his debut to try and pick up a win. He said early on tonight the car felt really well balanced as far as right side tire wear, both front right and right rear very even on wear throughout the duration of his run. Pretty comfortable with a long run car here, and with the green flag we've had 240 laps green so far tonight. It seems like it's working well for that pilot of that 99 machine, Jason Gardner. Running, again, almost identical lap times as Feskinen in second. Friley in third. He's just a tad faster, a tenth faster per lap than your top 2 drivers, but just a little bit too far back. 9 laps left to go. Does Gardner have enough fuel in the tank, both literally and figuratively? Now it's 8 laps left to go. Still 7.8, 7.9 seconds ahead of Feskinen in second. We're expecting Garner to be extremely close on fuel here as the laps tick off. Oh my, oh my. Garner actually found a little bit of speed that last time by over Feskinen, putting the advantage back over 8 seconds for the first time in about 15 laps. Jason Garner maybe looking like he knows he's got the fuel to make it till the end here. He's going to dive deep in these last 6 laps. Still 8 seconds and climbing. Over second place, Jacob Feskinen. The fill-in driver has got to be losing it. He's picked up the pace heavily. Now about 8.2, 8.3 seconds ahead of Feskinen. Diving deep with 5 laps left to go at round 2. Two-tenths faster. Garner gained about a tenth of a second that last time by, just on his lap time average. Three laps left to go. Jason Garner putting down the hammer. He sees he has the gas. He's got a win in sight. Extending the gap over Jacob Feskinen. Gardner was almost a tenth faster that last time by, clicking off a high 16-second lap time, 16.95s. 2 laps left to go. Jason Gardner looks like he's got the will and the fuel to make it till the end here at Bristol. White flag will fly this time by for Jason Gardner, the fill-in driver of the 99 Dropping Bombs vehicle. Jason Gardner on his way to his first Pro Series win here at round 2. Put your hands together. Your race winner, Jason Gardner, gonna bring it home here coming out of nowhere. Jason Garner takes the checkered here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Garner getting ready to show off in style on that number 99 machine with a much well-deserved win. Jacob Feskinen brings home second, John Friley third. Well, we got to talk to Garner about his victory burnouts, but there we go. He got it rolling. I don't know if he has any fuel left for burnouts. As it appears, he is out of gas, ladies and gentlemen. My, oh my, Gardner was cutting it close there, but able to get there. As we're waiting on John Friley to make his way up into the podium room as well. We got Jacob Feskinen in second place on standby. And Jason Gardner is going to enjoy it in the limelight here at Bristol, his first ever Pro Series win. And an absolute great finish here today. We're trying to get Friley in that 06 machine up here into the booth. But man, oh man, talk about a story out of nowhere. Jason Gardner picks up the win. There we go. All right, we got all the drivers up here in the booth. Up first, we're going to get Friley in the 06 machine, bringing home a third, up 6 spots. Friley, it seemed like you had the longest initial run on green. Was that trying to get off pit strategy or just seeing how long you could stretch in that street stock machine?
Yeah, I was just laid back and trying to hit my marks and stretch it as far as I could.
Now,
try to take care of the tires. That's the main thing.
Yeah, John, especially a long format, did you expect any cautions to shake things up tonight, or were you guys kind of planning on building off of a green flag run for the duration?
To be honest, I looked to have some cautions. I was kind of surprised it went.
I think I am as well, John, but up 4 spots, bringing home some points for the fast lane guys in a great run. Before they just send off and celebrate with the rest of the hooligans, who would I to give a shout out to or say thanks to?
Oh, I'd like to say thanks to Jeff Edgar and the Kohler crew, and thanks to JT's Mobile Pressure Washing, and that about covers it.
Well, John, great time talking to you. Always great seeing you out on track, and congratulations on a hard-fought podium here today.
Absolutely, James. Hope to see you here soon again.
Yes, sir. Me as well.
Merry Christmas to you and everybody out there.
You as well, John.
Thanks.
That was John Friley bringing home a third place. Up next, we've got Jacob Feskin, the 926 Cornerstone machine. Jake, it seemed like it was going to be another fuel mileage race. What plans did you guys make coming into Bristol to maybe account for that, or were you kind of betting on some cautions to maybe mix things up?
No, I was actually hoping that this thing was going to go 250 green because I had a car that was just so much better on fuel mileage. To be 100% honest, I just completely made a mistake on the second stop and got a speeding penalty and had to sit for 40 seconds. So to make up that time and only finish about 9 seconds back, finish second, I was happy with that. I mean, the car was so great. Handling, lap times, fuel, I feel like I probably ran the first 2/3 of the race at just 80% and just kind of, was limping it along the whole way, only running as hard as I needed to.
Well, it seems like it worked out well. What's been the secret to the success of the Cornerstone guys, or what was previously known as Lodo Racing in the past? I mean, you guys just keep getting better and better as either setups or driver ability. I mean, is it just the seat time, or what is it that's kind of helping you guys get out front more often?
Yeah, I think everybody's been putting a lot of seat time in, both in the street stocks as well and a couple other leagues. I think there's a lot of cars that some of the driving techniques will translate over to these. Even if you're not running the same tracks or the same setups or anything, there's a lot that translates. I got to give a ton of props out to Tyler. He's had a massive improvement from last season to this season, both in this series and a couple others that I've run with him. And of course, always James and Mike and Sean and those guys help out big time with setups. It's a total team effort. It's not just one person doing it all.
Well said, Jake. Congratulations on a great second. I know you missed the season opener, but good to have you back out here in force and putting that 926 up front where we're used to seeing it. Before we let you sign off, who do I give a shout out to? Family, friends, sponsors. The floor is yours.
To give a big shout out to all the new sponsors that came on board with us for Cornerstone this season. They've made this a real possibility to try to push as hard as we can move up. I got to thank again Sean and James, Tyler, Mike, all of them for all the teamwork and all the setup help. And most importantly, I got to thank my wife Tiffany for allowing me to do this and dealing with the hours that I put into this for what sometimes feels like very minimal gains.
Well, Jacob, well said. Always great having you up here, man. Looking forward to your continued success in here and every other league you run, and great seeing you up here again, my friend.
Awesome. Thanks, James. Have a great holiday, everybody. Merry Christmas, everybody out there.
You as well, brother. And up next, ladies and gentlemen, the man you've been waiting for in his pro debut, bringing home the top spot, Jason Garner in the 99 machine. Jason, you came out of nowhere. You got a ride with Dropping Bombs Racing, replacing Tyler McRae here today, and you managed to bring the car home shiny and on the top spot. I mean, how much more ecstatic could you possibly be?
Oh, I'm very ecstatic. Coming into this race, I knew I was just filling in for Tyler, so I was going to try to get a good finish for him. I didn't expect to win.
Well, Jason, we know you've got a lot of seat time in these machines. We were talking to some of the ASRC guys that were tuning in. For those that are just tuning in, ASRC, they ran a Street Stock series on Mondays. It's now Tour Mods and SK Mods, free to join, free to go play in traffic. How do you think racing with those guys and what was some grueling races in those machines, also an open setup league, helped you prepare you for tonight for 250 long laps at Bristol?
They're both two totally different cars. When you approach a modified, you're gonna have to have a completely different mindset than the street stocks, especially when it comes to tuning them and how they run. Because, like I said, the cars are built completely different tires. Yeah, they're just two completely different machines.
Now, Jason, talking to you before tonight's broadcast, the main event, you were saying the car felt really good as far as setup. Were you still pretty happy with it over those long runs as far as tire and fuel management?
Yeah, I was actually pretty happy with it. The car stayed fairly neutral the entire run. I really didn't. It was by far not the fastest car in the pack, but I kind of noticed that right there near the end of the run, I was definitely starting to pull away or catch up to everyone. So I knew if this would go to a long green flag run to the end, I'll probably have an edge.
Well, Jason, you brought it home. On and off the track, extremely proud of you. You showed up tonight a little bit cold, able to go out there to fill-in spot, gain 4 spots, and most importantly, put on the top spot with the team car looking nice and shiny. I know your team's pumped. I know you're pumped, and hell, even I'm pumped up here in the broadcast booth to have you on the top spot. Before I let you sign off, the floor is all yours, my friend. I know you're a guy, a few words, but who do I give a shout-out to? Any friends, family, sponsors, girlfriends, wives, whoever you want to give a shout-out to, the time is now yours, my friend.
Yeah, I'd give a shout-out to Johnny Bell and all of Attrition Racing. That's a good team. And I also like to give a shout out to Tyler McRae from Dropping Bombs Racing. He's the one that gave me a chance to run for him tonight, and I'm glad he's going to be able to get a win. So, Merry Christmas, Tyler.
Well said, Jason. Congratulations. Your first time here at the Pro Street Stock Series on the top spot. Extremely proud of you, man. You definitely earned it, and we wish you the best of luck in everything you compete in the future.
All right. Hope everyone out there has a good day, and also like to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays.
You as well.
Everybody out there watching.
You as well, Jason. Enjoy the celebrations, my friend.
All right, thank you.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, will do it at round 2 of the Pro Street Stock Series. Jason Gardner, the fill-in driver for Droppin' Bombs Racing, puts it on the top spot in the number 99 machine. Jacob Feskin in the 926 with Cornerstone Motorsports finishes second. And then John Friley rounds out our podium here today in that 06 Fastlane Motorsports on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, as well as East Action Sports. Thank you all so much for tuning in on a Christmas week. We couldn't do it without you guys. Again, we are on an off week next week, so we can all celebrate the holiday season with our family, but we wish you a happy, safe Christmas, holidays, and anything else you may be celebrating, and we'll see you in the new year. Have a great night.